Waiting for us to go live. How's everybody's weekend? If you're here on live, would absolutely love it if you would comment. Say hello. Let us know you're here. I'd love it when we have comments. Otherwise, it's just a little bit weird to talk to myself, but I get it. I get it. Some Fridays are really, really busy. On that note, this is going to be the new time for the foreseeable future. This 10 o'clock time. I know that for over a year, I've done it at 9:30 a.m. My morning schedules have shifted a little bit. And so I would need to move this back a little bit. So that's why we're meeting at this time instead of another time. Chrissy's here. Brianna's here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for saying something and being here. I'm adjusting my windows so that I can see the notes I have written and myself on camera, so I know if I'm like in the right screen, and then your guys' comments. Like, it's kind of like I already have two screens and it's fun. It's really fun, but if you see me like looking like this, that's what I'm trying to do, is see all the things. So really glad you guys are here live. Now, if you don't know me, I'm a mom of 5 children. I'm Robin Whitworth. I am the CEO of the Elevated Mother Experience. This is my free group on Facebook. This is the community I've built. I said, for years, I posted awesome stuff on my timeline, right? And I would get responses, but I thought, man, wouldn't it be amazing if I had a group of people that really care about this stuff, where I could post maybe a little bit deeper, where maybe I could do a video and people know when I'm going live and it's a place that maybe they can come. And that's what this group is. This is like, if you want to talk about Jesus and self-growth and having more, it's interesting because I found in the wide community of Christianity, there wasn't a lot of talk about this. There wasn't a lot of talk about expanding our mindsets. There wasn't a lot of talk about how to shift how we think. It was always, give your burdens to the Lord, read your scriptures more, pray more, become more holy, and your life will be better. Well, I will just share very openly. If you guys haven't been here for a while, I'm super frank. That wasn't working for me. I was yelling at my children and then feeling guilt about it. I had a lot of shame for a lot of things in my life. Like if my husband and I argued, I had a lot of triggering thoughts and experiences, and no amount of prayer was going to like fix that. And as I started reading some books, some friends suggest, I saw people changing, and I thought they grew up the same situation I did. How are they having such a different experience? What is going on? And that's when I got into mindset work and how much our thoughts are running the show. And I'm like, this has to be something changeable, right? Like, please let me know if this is something. And the more that I studied it, and then in 2018, I came back to the study and said, I've learned so much about mindset. I've changed my life. So 10 years ago is when I had this big shift. And in 2018 was when I started seeing, and I built a 6-figure business, changed our life, like all those things happened 10 years ago, right? But in 2018, so like 5 years ago, was when I went, I am so tired of hearing women at the park physically, like you could tell that they were not having joy in their life. They would yell at their children and they would physically, you could see it. I was observing this, like they don't want to do that. Their kid is scared of them. They know that they don't like this. And I would hear in church, like discussions, I go to church every Sunday, and you'd hear discussions about how people were feeling so bad. I feel so bad when this, I know I should be better at this. Like there's all this language floating around, and I'm like, there's a different way to live. There's a different way to live. And I actually think Jesus Christ taught it a long time ago. And so I started doing, like, breaking down all the study I had done with mindset and thought work and energy and like all these different things. I'm like, did Jesus teach this? Is this a thing? And as I really dove into the scriptures heavily, I actually had a little bit of a faith breakdown, because it was like everything I had internalized as a young child and teenager inside my church. I was like, wow, I've taken so many things as doctrine that after studying Jesus's words, I'm like, this is not doctrine. This was culture or tradition. It blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it has changed me forever. It has changed me forever. I am converted to Jesus Christ, and I love everything he teaches in the Old New Testament. And I have since found great works of expansion on all of that stuff, but I have found he taught all these principles. And so I thought, I want a community of Christians. Let's talk about this as Christians, because there's a lot of life coaching floating around out there. But to say, this is what Jesus taught, and not have to be like wondering what, if anyone cares about that. I love that. I love you guys. I just want to share a deep, deep, deep gratitude and appreciation for this group, that this is available. You guys wanted to join it, that you're here listening to my classes, and like, I feel so strongly there is a higher way of living. And the longer I'm on this road, my life is expanding and elevating to places that I didn't even foresee 5 years ago. And then as I now have the Elevated Mother experience that I launched 3 years ago, I'm seeing this ripple as these moms in the program are changing, and people that listen to my class are starting to shift. There's this ripple, because now we're speaking differently to our kids. Now we're speaking differently to ourselves. Now we're speaking differently to our spouses. It's changing the world, because if you change one mom, she'll change that posterity, and that is thousands of people. There's so much power here in this group. And so I'm really I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that Facebook exists. I'm grateful we can do this. Of all the places you could be right now, you're right here. Think about that. It's so awesome. So I posted yesterday about a conversation that I had with a mom, and she was just like, I have her notes right here. I'm going to cover her name for privacy reasons, but she said, I want to be free. Like, and this was in a voicemail. She sent me this voice message. She was very emotional. She was telling me, guys, this is not so unique. We just got off this retreat last weekend. I posted about it in here. And one of the highlight messages that so many of the women said when I asked for some reflection, they were like, I just didn't realize how many people were dealing with the same stuff. I didn't realize how many moms were having the same fears, having some of the same struggles with their kids, their spouse. Like, that's blowing my mind, that you're not alone in these struggles. That this is the human experience, if you will. This is the natural man. This is the flesh. This is the veil that we are dealing with here. And this woman was just very emotional about a lot of, her kids are older, and one's in jail, one's addicted to heroin, and one's trying to do this thing. And she's just like, I tried. Like, I want to be free of resentment. I want to be free of guilt. I want to be free. I want to have more joy. Like, it was very sacred. I don't hold lightly my position to be a sounding board for mothers that really need someone to talk to about this. Let's be open about wanting more, wanting something different, but wanting to be humble and grateful, and realizing, like, we need to be able to share this stuff. We need to be supportive, that everybody has their crap. Like, everybody has their crap. They do. Everyone's got their baggage. Everyone's got this stuff. This generational cycles you had from your parents, they go like 5 generations deep. This kind of work is a challenge. It is a growth opportunity. And with that, there is pain. And when she was speaking this to me, I could tell there was a lot of pain there. She says, I just want to be free. I just want to be free of this. And I got thinking about what I've learned about pain. There was a woman in my life that I was talking about C-sections. I had all C-section deliveries and then a very traumatic last delivery. And I was talking to her and she's just like, I can't get off my pain meds. When I feel pain, I have so much PTSD. And I thought, wow, that's a scary place to be, because pain is a really important messenger. Pain is what tells you not to overdo it. Pain is what lets you know if you need to go to the doctor because something is wrong. Pain is a great a messenger to say you need to stay in bed or you need to go get a therapist. Like, what would we do? And I posed that question. Did you guys see this post? Like, what would we do without physical pain? Like, if we could really take away like actual physical pain, we would die of like a paper cut, because we would never feel the pain of it stinging when there was a little infection in there to put Neosporin on it and keep it clean. Like, if we didn't have physical pain, we would not live very long. This is true. Like, this is so true. And I also have learned about mental and emotional pain. And Brianna put in here that she's struggling. She's full of anger a lot. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Has any other mom watching this put in the comments? Have you ever felt full of anger, full of that feeling of just like, I'm with you. I have since learned a lot about self-regulation. I have learned a ton about how the programs are working in my mind. I have learned so many things. There's so much resources out there. Brianna, thank you, Christy, for validating that for her today in this group and on this call today. When we talk about doubt and fear, there's, oh, let me find my notes. Is it on my notes? Is it on my paper? Oh man, I had this written down somewhere. Like, came to me. I want to share something with you. Here's my paper. When you feel guilt, regret, resentment, sadness, bitter, those emotions means that your mind, right? If that's a lot of emotions you feel a lot, anytime that we have a thought, it creates an idea, which, depending on our belief system, this idea evokes an emotional experience. Okay? This is how the thoughts and all the things come through this physical experience. So if a lot of emotions that you're feeling are these guilt, regret, resentment, sadness, bitterness, like, if that is a big piece of your experience emotionally, I like to go back up the chain and say, what are your thoughts? What is going on here? A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. You're attached to something. So if you're taking notes, suffering means you are attached to a thought pattern. You have an idea, you have a belief that says, because this, because this, because this. And these particular emotions, guilt, pain, resentment, sadness, whatever, not pain, emotional pain, probably, grief, right? That goes with that. It means that a lot of your thoughts are from your past. The belief systems that are running as thoughts are coming through you, they're being filtered through your past. And that makes sense, right? That's how humans, like, oh, I touched the stove, so the next time I'm feeling this pain or whatever, I go, oh yeah, it was the stove. I need to remember not to touch that next time, right? That's our basic learning model. But if you're feeling those emotions all the time, you're in the past a lot. You're spending a lot of time ruminating, wondering if you should have said something different, wondering if somebody meant something that they said 20 years ago, wondering why that person said that thing last week. Like you're really dwelling and ruminating and like thinking that the past has more to teach you or more value than where you are right now. Interesting, right? And if you have a lot of emotional experiences that are anxious, I'm so anxious. I am so worried. You're a worry wart. You're a helicopter parent, worried about what people are thinking about you and what they think about your children. You're worried, worry, stress, lots of fear. I'm afraid. These emotions are from too much future. You're thinking way out there. You're thinking, oh no, my kid forgot their lunch. Oh no, my kid, if they do this thing, oh no, if I don't do this thing, my kid, if I don't show up this way, my husband. This is too much in the future if those kind of feelings are really, really constant for you. So when we're experiencing those kind of things a lot, and thank you for your honesty, Brianna. Overall, I would say, and anybody else would as well, that you're having kind of a negative, you have negativity that you're often trying to overcome. You're often feeling like I have to overcome this negativity. I have to put a positive spin on this experience. This is mostly a negative experience. And negativity, write this down. Negativity is the denial of the power that you have right now. And it's often, in all my clients, it's unconscious. You feel very reactive. I don't have a choice right now. I have to do this. I have to do this. Everything's push energy. Negativity is the denial of the power that you have right now. And what's interesting to note is that all you have is right now, ever. The past is a series of right nows. The future will be a series of right nows. And right now, at 10:19 Mountain Daylight Time in May 2023, you have a choice right now. I love the book by Viktor Frankl that he wrote after World War II. It's like 100 years ago now, right? Like we're like, okay, not quite 100, 85 years ago, whatever. Like he was a German or a Jew in a concentration camp. And he's literally like the modern day Job. Like he was in these concentration camps, camp after camp after camp, lost all of his friends. They were shot or died of disease. His entire family was shot. And they're like, how did you live with all the things that were done to him? He was sexually molested. He was beaten. He was starved. And he's like, I just disassociated from the situation. They can't take my mind. They can't take my soul. And so I just would talk myself through all sorts of different things. And he said, and write this down. This is so monumental. I think of this all the time. In between stimulus, right? We've been stimulated. Our kids started crying at 2 a.m. The car's oil light came on. Someone rear-ended me. I got an unexpected bill in the mail. I was stimulated. So when he says, so between stimulus and response, so we've been stimulated by something. And then we have our response to it. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And it's within this space where everything is determined. And so in my program, we help you map what is your current running program, because what your current running program is depends on what happens in this space. And now pain, we're talking about pain today. Your decision on your response greatly determines the level of your pain. It's very interesting. In the scriptures, in multiple places, God talks about how we wanted to come here to be able to choose. We wanted to have agency. We wanted to make this experience what we wanted. Satan said, down there with a specific set of rules. If they check all the box, then they just make it. Like, no, it will be so painful. It will be so hard. This will be so hard. And Jesus said, yeah, but they will expand. Their intelligence can grow exponentially if they have these lessons of pain and growth and choice. Their intelligence cannot expand and grow unless they learn by their own experience. We can't dictate this experience. And Satan said, no way. That will be so hard. Let's do it this way. Everyone will make it back. It will be an instant win. It'll be instant. Nobody will have to wonder. Everyone's a winner. And gosh, everyone will praise me for that. They will love me for that. And Jesus said, I just don't think so. I just really think that they would rather have their own choice and their own experience. I think they'll grow exponentially doing that. I think it'll be better. And God created all this so they could have this experience. The glory will be his. And the people will love that. They will love being able to expand and grow and become more like God. Won't that be amazing? And anybody that's here in a physical body chose Jesus' plan. Like, if you're here, as he says, in the veil of flesh, he came in the meridian of time to say, hey, guys, remember the plan? I gave you the law of Moses to kind of like remember that there was going to be sacrifice and these things. I'm here now. We don't have to do that anymore. It's about your intention. There's a higher way of living. It's about our intention. God's going to actually judge you on your heart. And this isn't a judgment of shame. It's just, hey, with all the energy that I've created, your existence after this experience gets to be what you make it. Be heaven or hell, depending on what you decide. Isn't that interesting? We actually wanted to come here, and that we knew would have pain. Love, joy, acceptance, fun. We also knew those, but we knew pain was there. Pain was part of the deal. And when Jesus suffered on the cross in the Garden of Gethsemane, did he accept or did he try to deflect that he shouldn't feel this pain? No. However, think about Jesus' experience. Did he deny the pain? Did he cry? Yes. Jesus wept. How many times did Jesus cry for the people, for himself? Did Jesus tremble? Yes, it says this was a hard thing. Did Jesus ask for help? Yes, he did. Please, 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 as a mother in 2023, why are we not asking for help? And putting ourselves in position to have resources to help us have an awesome life. Jesus asked for help. Angels came, surrounded him to lift him through this experience. He was not alone. Did Jesus want to drink from the bitter cup? He openly said, God, do I really have to do this? He said, your will, your will, your will, I'll do this. And he drank from the bitter cup. Every time I drink tea, in the scriptures, it says that he drank the dregs of a bitter cup. If you ever drank tea, you know that at the bottom of the cup, there's it's called the dregs. And what's interesting is that entire cup of tea has lots of benefits, right? But how many of us get to the dregs and we don't drink them? Which is honestly where the bulk of a lot of some of the benefits of the tea or the leaves or whatever are in the dregs. It's just, it was all mixed and now it's not. If you drink the dregs of a bitter cup, you're finishing the cup. You finish the task. You did it all. I think about that every time I drink tea. Every single time I think about Jesus Christ, how he drank the dregs of a bitter cup. And you can look that up in the Bible. But he drank from the bitter cup. He finished his mission. And his entire life was an example of saying, hey, this is how things are going to go. We are going to have times when we tremble, when we cry, when we ask for help. And he's promised that he's there. But we have to believe that. We have to lean into that. Without those moments, isn't this a pattern that it's in our hardest challenges that we lean into God? It's almost like we needed this. Like, it's just like if we didn't feel the pain of a paper cut, we would die from it. If we didn't feel our mental and emotional pains, why would we need God? I mean, really, how could we cry out for a spiritual, mental experience of support if we didn't believe in our innermost self that there was something out there that could help us inside? It isn't a pill. It isn't a, Neosporin. And Jesus talked a lot. You've heard about the balm of Gilead. You hear about these terms that he uses like a salve, a healing balm. He knows that his gospel and his example of living this way will heal our wounds. He tells us openly it's possible. It's possible to be healed, like always. And so, yeah, Brianna, I don't have a village. Everyone says they'll help, but then they say no. And I've been in that position as well where I feel alone. And one of the greatest things that I've done is be like, you know what? I'm not alone with God. Can I bring him in today and every day? I use this visual a lot, but Jesus standing outside my front door, and I have to open the door and say, hey, want to hang out with me for the day? And imagine him sitting by me when I'm doing the laundry, standing with me when I'm with my angsty toddler, standing with me when I'm trying to decide how to deal with my 15-year-old's outburst. Jesus laying next to me in bed, being like, hey, how was it today? Interesting. What did we learn? My prayers have become so different. My life has become so different when I literally have Jesus with me all the time. All the time. That's a choice to lean into that belief. And this pain that he showed us, he's like, these are messengers. When you feel doubt, doubt is a message that you just don't know something. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It doesn't mean error. You have a doubt. You're like, oh, I don't know, these fears, right? I just don't have information yet. Either I haven't had this experience, or I can reach out to somebody and get an idea. I could read a book, get resourceful, right? And when I'm feeling suffering and some of these harder things, I go, oh, that means I'm attached to a thought. Do you see how it becomes more neutral? When I feel doubts, I go, oh, I don't know something. When I feel suffering, I go, oh, I'm attached to something here. What? And I go backwards. What am I thinking? What was I thinking? What was the idea? And I make notes about that and I journal it, because those messengers are so helpful. How do we learn and progress in all those things without some of this pain? So while I want to validate this mom that says, I just want to be free. Yes. Like, yes, of course. And Jesus said, my yoke is easy. My peace I give unto you. And it's our job to go, wait, he says we can be peaceful, joyful. It can be easy. One of my mantras this year, 2023, is let it be easy and let it be better. Can work be easy? Can parenting be easy? Can my health journey be easy? Can my marriage be better? Is this situation with my kids? Maybe let it be better. If I'm going out to lunch with some friends and I'm all worried that my kids, I'm like, no, why don't you just let it be better? Let it be better than anything I could think of. It's going to let things be better. It's going to let things be easy. And a question I ask myself a lot, because God said, just being here, you're worthy. The worth of souls is great with God. Like our soul, you were worthy and worth before you even came here and were born. Just being is enough. Like, you don't have to prove anything or do anything amazing to be loved and valued. And so I thought, if I'm no longer really afraid of failure, if my success is certain, who do I talk to? How do I act? What do I do today? If my success is certain, who would I be? How would I be? Who am I being in this moment? My success is certain. If my marriage is certain to succeed, if my kids are certain to be okay, if my finances are certain to always replenish itself, how do I be? Because here's the thing. Anytime we feel we need something, like I don't have this thing, we're looking for a feeling. Identify what it is. If you say, I want $10,000, I want, what's the feeling that will give you? Because that's what you really want. What's interesting to note is it works both ways. When you are not doing something, you're trying to avoid a feeling. It's important to identify those as well. What am I avoiding all the time? What am I thinking will happen? What's this emotional experience that I don't want to have? Because here's the thing, when you start this list of what I want certainty, I want love, I want peace, I want to be free. If you can tell yourself, if it's available to you, sometimes it takes people a lot of time to say, can I just have that now? Can I just be free from those things now? Can I put my burdens at the feet of the Savior today? Why am I carrying this around with me when He said to put my burdens at His feet? He gave me the tool to be free. I want certainty. I'm certain right now in God's grace. Can I just have that right now? Because what's really interesting is when you embody those beautiful thoughts, you can feel those things right now. And the more you become those things, your programming starts to change. Take some time, but write it down, record it into your phone, and tell yourself every day, I am safe, I am joyful, there's more than enough, my finances always replenish themselves. These become your personal affirmations. And what a great thing that we have this pain, that we have these things to give us these tools to shift our experience. We need pain. We need those messengers, whether it's mental or emotional or physical. It gives us so much data to direct us to what we need to heal. It's beautiful. So when I feel pain now, I go, oh, there's a thought attachment. Oh, there's something I haven't learned. And I've learned to embody the peace, the certainty, all of those things that I was seeking for so long. And when I sit in it and I be this way, I'm a great mom. I'm a fantastic wife. I'm an excellent coach. I'm an awesome volunteer for my church and community. Do you see and opportunities, and people are more open, people are more responsive. It's interesting how things just start flowing the way that I always wanted them to. I didn't realize though I was resisting them by resisting the pain. It's just learning to be, oh, this is a messenger for me. This allows me to make a choice here. I have space to make a choice here. So that's what I have to share with you today about pain. It is a messenger. It is useful. It gives you the data that you need to change something for your highest good. And Jesus's example told us that. We can see it all around us. We expand a lot on this in Elevated Mother Experience. There is a different way. If you want to consider a different way, let me know if you're interested in the program, and then we can walk through what that might look like. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week.